Hi all, just a quick video about conversation on speedos on Harleys. As we all know, there are issues with speedos having a lot of water vapor inside on some Harleys, right? So I had the same issue. I ride a fat boy, and this is one of those. Sorry about the lighting, guys. It's just in my office right now. I just can't get rid of the shadow there. But again, coming back to the point, I had condensation issues on my speedo, and looking up on YouTube, a lot of videos mentioned about drilling a hole on the back plate on the base, and which I did. Again, I was very careful when doing that, but somehow I managed to drill a bit too far. I'll show you where the problem is. Okay, so what happened at the end is the needle stopped working. That's because I went too far and punched the hole onto the motor, right? So even after being very careful, right? But the thing is, unless you see the inside of it, you cannot judge the distance. How far should you go, stuff like that. Anyways, so if anyone has been in that situation, you would have normally gone down the route of trying to get a used speedo, a working used speedo, which I did. Unfortunately, when I installed, and it's basically the same part number that I got from the used market, absolutely perfect condition. I installed that on my bike. The problem is that it will not register VIN number. So as soon as you switch on the bike, it'll show you a VIN error. So I did a little bit of digging, couldn't get any information on the internet. Some say it can be fixed by flashing through Thundermax. Some say you can't. But anyway, so I have got two speedos there. One, I mean, both of them are working, but the one that I originally had has the motor kind of damaged, right? So what I did was basically I took both of them apart. So if anyone is in this situation and you ended up buying a used a speedo, this is what I did to troubleshoot the problem. Okay, so I took my speedo, both the speedos apart. Again, you'll have to pry that open. Again, don't worry about all those edges, it won't be seen once you put it back. Okay, so you really don't have to destroy the whole thing. It's quite concealed, but there is a way. I'll show you with a pen. There's a way. If you can use a small knife or something, all this whole thing is glued, all right, all the way around. All you have to do is just lift it up, and you will see 3 screw points here. 1, 2, and 3. And those are the 3 screw points. If you can take those screws out without taking out the whole number things there, right? So without taking the whole thing out, I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if you take it out, it doesn't matter. You can line it up with these notches. If you see those little what do you call, holes there, you'll have to align that when you stick it back on. Okay, and that should solve the problem anyways, if you're worried about aligning this sticker around the speedo. Now again, one more thing I forgot to mention was taking this needle out. Now again, this one is all over the place because there's no motor behind it. I'll show you now. How do you take it? You use 2 forks on either side and lift it with equal pressure from both sides. Okay, that's the only way to take that needle out. Again, when you're taking it out, be careful not to bend that little pin underneath it. Okay, so that's why you have to use both the forks with equal pressure from both sides and lift it straight up. It is quite hard. It's quite like, very tightly fit into it, but don't worry, you won't damage it. You just simply just lift it up and pop out, and it comes out like that. And what you do next is you have taken those 3 screws out, and then you simply lift the whole thing up. Okay, so you really don't have to take anything else out. I've seen some videos on YouTube where they take this black part out as well. It's all on clips. You don't have to do that. All right. Okay, and flip it over and you will see the circuit board. Right, so let me just get a better angle there. Okay, so if you notice, this is where the motor for the needle is. It's like a white box thing over here. At the moment it's not there because I've taken it out. Okay, and I've put the working motor onto my original Speedo circuit board. Okay, so how do you take the circuit board out now? Is there are some clips here, no screws. There are some clips here, so 2 clips. You gotta unclip those 2, and then there's another 2 clips over here, 1 and 2. Okay, so you just push it, slide it slightly, and it'll come off the notch, and then you simply take it out. All right, and on the underside of it, like inside of it, actually, you know what, I'll just take it out and I'll show it to you. Okay guys, I'll have to pause this and I'll come back to you. Okay, sorry guys, I had to just 'cause I'm holding the phone on one hand, can't do it with just one hand, you know. So okay, so I've taken this out, and if you flip it over, so these white bits are all LED lights. Okay, so if you see, there are 4 holes here. So there are 4 holes there, and that's where the motor is. Okay, that's where the motor comes through. So this in the center, the dead center, is where the pin comes out, and then these are the points where it's fixed. So it's like a push pin. All you have to do is just press on in the middle and it'll just go through. So on the other side, you can take the box out, the white motor out, and then just replace it to your original circuit board, provided that your circuit board is actually working and there's no damage to the circuit board itself. Okay, because this circuit board, if you buy from a used market, it's tied into its original bike, so it's registered with the VIN number from the original bike. All right, so what I did was I took this motor out from here, put it into my original circuit board, and refit the whole thing back to normal. Again, back to normal. Put the glass back in with the needles and everything else, with the needles in the middle. Again, when you're putting back the needle, just take care that you don't push it all the way through first. Okay, so just simply just put it on top of the pin first. Take it to your bike, connect the speedometer to the bike and switch it on. It'll reset to 0, so the pin will move and reset to 0. And make sure that your pin is exactly at the 0 mark. Okay, so let's say you switched on, you just simply put it on the tip of the pin, and you switched on the bike. It might go just slightly move back and forth, and it'll come back over here, so it's not 0. So you need to take that pin out and move it to 0 exactly, and then push it down after that. Okay, so once you do that, you make sure that the needle is zeroed in correctly. Come back, take it off the bike, and just push the needle back in fully. So there's about 3 clicks, and that's when you know it's seated in properly. And just make sure this needle tip is underneath those numbers, and then put the glass back on, and I'm sure there is a lot of videos that will show you how to fit the glass back in. Okay, and that's the way I sorted out my Speedo. Okay, so I didn't need to do any flashing. So maybe whoever is in that situation and looking around to flash and stuff like that, and you have 2 sets of Speedos there, all you have to do is just take the motor out from underneath, put it into your original speedometer, and it should work fine. So I've fitted back my speedo on the bike, and everything is working fine, no issues at all. Right, hopefully this will help anyone who is in the similar situation. If there is any questions, feel free to ask me. So see you later, guys.